What if I told you that the giant standing between you and your destiny isn't out there somewhere? It's right here. Points to head, what if I told you that the very thing holding you back from your breakthrough isn't your circumstance, your past, or even your enemies, but your lack of confidence? I remember standing in front of my first congregation, just 25 people in a storefront church, with my knees knocking, my voice trembling, wondering if I had anything worth saying. Now I've spoken to millions across the globe, but that journey from fear to faith, from hesitation to boldness, from doubt to divine confidence wasn't overnight. Today, I'm going to share with you 3 powerful principles that will transform how you see yourself, how you present yourself, and how you project yourself into your future. By the end of our time together, you'll understand why confidence isn't just a feeling. It's a spiritual force that propels you toward your purpose. If you're tired of shrinking yourself to make others comfortable, if you're exhausted from living beneath your potential, if you're ready to step boldly into the calling God has for your life, this message is for you. Get ready to level up your confidence, level up your courage, and level up your capacity to become who you were created to be. Here's what you're about to receive today. First, I'm going to show you how to transform your mindset from fixed to growth, because confidence isn't just about who you are now, but who you're becoming. Second, you'll discover how to fail forward, because your setbacks are actually setups for your greatest comebacks. And third, I'll reveal how to activate what I call your divine audacity, that supernatural boldness that comes when you align your self-image with God's image of you. Before we dive in, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and command attention without saying a word? That's not just charisma, that's confidence. And today, I'm going to help you develop that same presence that opens doors before you even knock. If this message is already speaking to you, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button right now. Join our community of destiny chasers who are refusing to let fear define their future. The first key to unlocking unstoppable confidence is transforming your mindset from fixed to growth. Let me talk to somebody who understands what it means to feel stuck. You've convinced yourself that this is just how I am. I'm not a confident person. I'm just shy by nature. I've always been this way, but I've come to disturb your thinking today. What if the limitations you've accepted aren't permanent but permeable? What if the barriers you've believed about yourself are actually breakable? Science now confirms what Scripture has always taught us. Researchers at Stanford University discovered something they call a growth mindset, the belief that your abilities aren't fixed but can develop through dedication and hard work. Your brain literally grows new connections when you push through challenges. When you study, when you practice, when you persist, your neural pathways strengthen and expand. You are literally rewiring your brain for confidence every time you step outside your comfort zone. Let me share something personal with you. When I first started preaching, I would memorize every word of my sermons because I was terrified of making a mistake. I believed I was either a good speaker or I wasn't, that it was fixed. But one Sunday, my notes got mixed up and I had to improvise. I was petrified. But in that moment of vulnerability, God showed me something powerful. He hadn't called me to be perfect. He'd called me to be present. He hadn't anointed my performance. He'd anointed my purpose. That day transformed my mindset. I stopped seeing myself as someone who either had it or didn't have it, and started seeing myself as someone who was growing into the vessel God designed me to be. Here's your first practical step. Identify one area where you've been telling yourself, "I'm just not good at this," and replace it with, "I'm not good at this yet." Then take one action this week to develop in that area. Maybe you've been saying, "I'm not good at public speaking." Change that to, "I'm not good at public speaking yet." Then join Toastmasters or record yourself practicing a presentation. Maybe you've been saying, "I'm not confident in social situations." Change that to, "I'm not confident in social situations yet." Then challenge yourself to introduce yourself to one new person this week. When you shift from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, you stop seeing confidence as something some people are born with and start recognizing it as something everyone can develop. And here's the revelation somebody needs to hear today. God didn't create you with a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. That means confidence isn't something foreign. To your nature, it's your spiritual inheritance. The second key to unlocking unstoppable confidence is learning to fail forward. Let me say something that might shock you. Most people don't lack confidence because they fear failure. They lack confidence because they don't know how to handle failure. We live in a culture obsessed with highlight reels. Social media shows us everyone's victories, but hides their struggles. We see the championship moment but miss the countless hours of practice, the setbacks, the disappointments that preceded it. But can I tell you something? Every giant in the Bible had moments of failure before their moments of triumph. Moses stuttered and tried to decline his calling before leading a nation to freedom. David fell into sin before being called a man after God's own heart. Peter denied Christ 3 times before becoming the rock of the early church. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. The Wright brothers crashed countless times before achieving flight. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Let me tell you about a season in my life when failure nearly derailed me. Early in my ministry, I launched a business venture. That collapsed spectacularly. I lost money I couldn't afford to lose. People I trusted betrayed me. Critics said, "See, he should stick to preaching and leave business alone." I was devastated. Embarrassed. Questioning whether I'd heard God correctly. But in that dark night of the soul, God whispered something that changed everything for me. He said, "Son, I didn't call you to succeed at everything you touch. I called you to be faithful with everything you touch." The outcome is my responsibility. Obedience is yours. That failure taught me more about leadership, discernment, and resilience than any success ever could. It wasn't a dead end. It was a detour that equipped me for the journey ahead. Your failures aren't final unless you quit. Your mistakes aren't fatal unless you surrender. Your setbacks aren't permanent unless you give up. Here's your second practical step. I want you to reframe your biggest recent failure. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" When you face rejection, don't just feel the sting, ask what you can improve for next time. When you make a mistake, don't just feel the shame, identify the lesson that will prevent repeat errors. When you fall short, don't just feel the disappointment, recognize the growth that comes from getting back up. If this message is helping you reframe your relationship with failure, hit that subscribe button right now. We're building a community of people who understand that diamonds are formed under pressure and gold is refined in fire. When you learn to fail forward instead of falling backward, every experience, good or bad, becomes fuel for your confidence rather than a drain on it. The third key to unlocking unstoppable confidence is activating what I call your divine audacity. Divine audacity is that supernatural boldness that emerges when you finally align your self-image with God's image of you. Too many of us are walking around with an identity crisis. We've allowed our past, our pain, our problems, and other people's perceptions to define us instead of God's declaration over our lives. But I came to tell somebody today that you are not who they say you are. You are not who your mistakes say you are. You are not even who you say you are. You are who God says you are. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are more than a conqueror. You are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation. Let me share something powerful with you. Years ago, I was invited to speak at an event where I felt completely out of place. The other speakers had more education, more recognition, more influence. I sat backstage questioning why I was even there. Then I felt God asking me a question. Did I call you to be the best or to be faithful? Did I anoint you because you were qualified, or did I qualify you because you were anointed? In that moment, I realized that confidence isn't about comparing yourself to others. It's about aligning yourself with the one who called you. My confidence couldn't come from my credentials, my connections, or my capabilities. It had to come from my calling. When you understand who you are in Christ, you stop begging for a seat at tables where you were meant to build the table. You stop seeking validation from people who don't know your value. You stop shrinking your vision to match your current resources. Divine audacity means you can walk into rooms where you don't belong and belong there anyway, because God opened the door. It means you can speak with authority even when your voice shakes, because God gave you something to say. Here's your third practical step. Create what I call a divine identity declaration. Write down 3 to 5 statements that reflect how God sees you, not how the world sees you or even how you see yourself. Instead of "I'm trying to be confident," declare, "I am clothed with strength and dignity." Instead of "I hope I can handle this," declare, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Instead of "I'm afraid of what people think," declare, "If God is for me, who can be against me?" Then I want you to speak these declarations out loud every morning before your feet hit the floor and every night before your head hits the pillow. Do this for 21 days and watch how your divine audacity begins to rise up. When you activate your divine audacity, you stop waiting for permission to walk in your purpose. You stop apologizing for taking up space. You stop diminishing your dreams to make others comfortable. You were not created for mediocrity. You were not designed for the sidelines. You were born for impact. You were built for influence. You were called to confidence. Let me bring this home. We've covered 3 keys to unlocking unstoppable confidence. 1. Transform your mindset from fixed to growth. 2. Learn to fail forward. 3. Activate your divine audacity, but knowledge without application is just information. I don't want you to be informed today. I want you to be transformed. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 7 days, I want you to practice the confidence challenge. Day 1. Identify one area where you need a growth mindset and take one action to develop it. Day 2. Reframe a recent failure by writing down 3 lessons you learned from it. Day 3. Create your divine identity declaration with 3-5 statements. Day 4. Practice power posing for 2 minutes before an important interaction. Day 5. Reach out to someone who intimidates you and initiate a conversation. Day 6. Do something that scares you but aligns with your purpose. Day 7. Share your progress with our community in the comments. And speaking of our community, if this message has stirred something in you today, I want you to do 3 things. First, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We have powerful content coming on The Confidence Trap, 5 hidden barriers holding you back, that will build on what we've discussed today. Second, leave a comment below sharing which of these 3 keys resonated most with you and why. I read your comments, and your testimony might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Third, share this video with someone who needs a confidence boost. Be the vessel God uses to speak life into their situation. Remember, your confidence journey isn't just about you. As you become more confident, you create permission for others to do the same. Your boldness blazes a trail for someone else to follow. It's time to stop playing small. It's time to stop hiding your gifts. It's time to stop shrinking your presence. Your season of timidity is over. Your season of hesitation is finished. Your season of confidence is now. Destiny is calling your name. Will you answer with confidence? God bless you. I'll see you in the comments. 000 Introduction. The Confidence Crisis 1630, the 7-Day Confidence Challenge.